Born as James Howlett to a wealthy Canadian family at the end of the 19th century, he was forced to abandon his family after a tragic manifestation of his powers. Adopting the name Logan, he wandered the world. James Howlett's life began in the luxurious Howlett estate, located in the Cold Lake, Alberta, Canada. The notably frail and ill child was born to Elizabeth Howlett, who was married to the mansion's owner, John Howlett. However, he was the illegitimate love child of Elizabeth's affair with Howlett's groundskeeper, the crass Thomas Logan, although John Howlett obviously did not know this. Logan's powers awakened when he saw Thomas murder his father, John, triggering his healing factor and bone claws. He killed Thomas before finding out that he was Logan's father, not John. He then left home, beginning his lonely, centuries long journey to find his place in the world, which included fighting in the American Civil War, World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War, as well as training and living as a samurai after World War II, eventually being picked up for the Weapon X program in Canada, where he received his iconic adamantium claws and skeleton. His powers and skills include extreme healing factor, adamantium skeleton, knowing dozens of martial arts, super strength, above human speed, and highly keen senses. He is multilingual and he has superhuman reflexes. As for weaknesses, he is weak to carbonadium, and he does get adamantium poisoning from his skeleton, which has weakened his healing factor from how fast it would be without it, and decapitation. Daredevil is the alias of Matthew Michael Murdock, a lawyer from Hell's Kitchen who was blinded in childhood in a chemical accident while he was trying to rescue an old blind man. Although the accident blinded him, it enhanced his other senses. His father, Badlin Jack Murdock, was a small-time boxer who raised him alone after Matt's mother passed away when he was young. He was eventually killed by gangsters for refusing to throw a fight. Matt found himself living at St. Agnes Orphanage, while also being taught by his mentor Stick to control his abilities and also trained him in combat. Matt went to college and graduated to be a lawyer and runs a firm with his best friend Foggy, while also being a hero. Daredevil is an extremely complex and interesting character due to being someone who works in the law and trusts the system, while also breaking the law and working outside the system due to knowing that it's not perfect. He's also a man who holds his religious beliefs, that being Catholic, very close to his heart and struggles with the fact that although he is helping people with what he's doing, i.e., fighting crime, beating up criminals, he's dealing with a lot of violence that he enjoys, but he doesn't like that he enjoys it. As for powers, Daredevil has a 360 radar sense that is better than any eyesight anyone else might have, which allows him to notice things that others might miss and allows him to react to anything around him, so no one can really sneak up on him, sorry. He also has extremely heightened hearing to the point where he can hear people's heartbeat and tell whose heartbeat it is. He can hear for miles. Heightened sense and heightened smell on par with Wolverine, and extreme agility and speed nearly on par with Spider-Man. As for weaknesses, even though his extreme hearing and smell are useful, they're also weaknesses. He can be overpowered with extremely loud noises, which can technically blind him, and overpowering smells can really disorient him and also mess with his abilities to see. Scott Summers grew up in an orphanage after his parents died in a plane crash, saving him and his brother. We later find out that his father was actually alive and was part of some alien space crew. In the crash, Scott hit his head, causing his mutant genes to activate, but it also caused him to not have control over his abilities due to brain damage. He was separated from his two brothers while in the orphanage. Professor X found Scott after his powers activated at the orphanage, and he detected a large power surge. He took him in and made him the leader of the first X-Men team. Over the years, Scott has changed from his first appearance, becoming more militant and even bumping heads with Xavier many times. As for powers and abilities, Cyclops has optic beams, which, despite popular belief, are not heat. They're pure kinetic energy from another dimension in which his eyes have access, which is called the punch dimension. He's an expert to hand-to-hand combat and an extremely good strategist, considered one of the best in Marvel. As for weaknesses, Cyclops is more or less a normal human, so he's vulnerable to anything else a human is susceptible. Another weakness is his lenses. If he loses them, then he has no real control over his optics blast. Another power and weakness to consider with Cyclops is his ability to bag the ladies. He's gotten some of the baddest mutants in all of comics, yet he's fumbled every single one of them. Captain America. Born as Steve Rogers during the Great Depression, Steve was a frail, sickly kid from Brooklyn with a huge heart and an even bigger sense of justice. When World War II broke out, he tried multiple times to enlist in the US Army, but was rejected every time due to his physical limitations. Despite all that, he was selected for a top secret experiment called the Super Soldier Program, created by scientist Abraham Erskine. After being injected with Super Soldier Serum, that's a tongue twister, I never realized, and exposed to Vita rays, Steve's body was transformed to the peak of human perfection. But the celebration didn't last long. Erskine was assassinated immediately after the experiment, making Steve the only successful super soldier program, despite the government continually trying for years afterwards. Instead of just becoming a propaganda tool, Steve proved himself in combat against Hydra and its leader, the Red Skull. During a final mission, he crashed a plane into the Arctic to stop a catastrophic attack, sacrificing himself to save millions, and ended up being frozen in ice for nearly 70 years. Steve was eventually discovered and revived by S.H.I.E.L.D., bringing a World War II soldier into the modern age. His super soldier serum enhances him to the absolute peak of human potential. As for powers, Captain America has superhuman strength, able to lift several tons, enhanced speed and agility, being able to sprint faster than Olympic athletes and react fast enough to dodge bullets at close range. He has an accelerated healing factor and stamina, allowing him to fight hours on end without getting tired, and healing from gunshot wounds, cuts. He's not on the level of Wolverine, but he is far above human healing. He is a master combatant, being considered one of the greatest hand-to-hand fighters in the Marvel Universe, and has mastered multiple martial arts and military combat styles. And then, of course, his shield, which is made of vibranium, and absorbed kinetic energy, making it nearly indestructible. And he uses it both defensively and offensively, using his enhanced mental capacity to know just how to ricochet it off walls with impossible precision. As for weaknesses, despite having the healing factor and stamina, he's still a human. He can be injured if anything, is strong enough. Take a punch from Thanos or a full punch from the Hulk, he's gonna die. Get shot in the head, he's gonna die. But he can obviously still take more than a normal human. And also, he ages just very slowly. Sometimes in certain timelines, when the serum fades away, he ages rapidly to his actual age. Other times, he just slowly starts to age. So that's more so just how the comics wants to do it. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment any heroes you'd like me to cover. Thank you very much.